Hello everyone, it is Thursday afternoon. That means it's time for another Facebook Live. We are going to be playing with the Notes and Totes bundle today. While you're finding me, let me share this over to my page in case somebody's looking for it there. This always takes me just a minute, so hang on. It's not as easy as it used to be. If you are new to my Facebook Live, I come to you about every Thursday. Every once in a while I have to miss, I'm out of town or something. But I go live on Thursday and we make a card together, and then the next week I give it away. So last week we made this Jar of Joy card, so I will tell you at the end who won that. All right, let's see. Let me get back to where I was on my laptop and then we'll be ready to go. All right, almost. Okay, there we go. Okay, so I don't own this bundle, but my friend Kay let me borrow hers so I could play with it. So it has this stamp set, and then the dies. There's a ton of dies in here. So the bag, and this is for the trim on the bag. This is if you want to make a fence, you know, like a fence on the beach that you can put your beach bag in front of. This makes just a little card to stick inside. There's embellishments, all sorts of things you can put in your bag. So let's get started. We're going to make this one a beachy one. I mean, you can use this bag for lots of things, but I decided it had to be a beachy one today. The temperature feels like we're at the beach. So the designer series paper that I used for this, the bag itself is this Notes of Texture, or Woven Textures. Notes of Texture is the bundle. Woven Textures, I just use this. And then the background and the handle and stuff are these Country Woods. So it's got a lot of good wood paper in there. So that's what I used for the background and the bag. All right, let's get started. We don't have a lot of stamping on this. So I just cut, and I will give you all the dimensions on my blog shortly after this video is over, so you don't have to worry about dimensions. I'll tell you all of that on my video. But we're going to tear, I have to remember which way I want to do it. I want to tear towards me. This is the piece, I'm tearing this bottom piece right now because I want that white. If you didn't want the white, then you would tear away from you and then you'd end up with this. But I want the white. So then I'm going to turn it around because I want another piece to go up here. Tear it again. I just like that white, gives a little interest. Almost looks like foam on the sand. So now we have two pieces. This is our beach. I know it's wood, but to me the colors were close enough that we could pretend it's sand. And then I'm going to, there's a little sand, whatever, image in here, and I'm going to stamp some sand pebbles on our beach here. So this is crumb cake, and I'm just going to stamp some. And I'm not stamping off. This paper is busy enough that this doesn't show up a lot, but it just gives it a little bit more texture. So now we have some sand on our beach. All right, now let's get, this is a card, crumb cake card base. And this is where we're going to put our sentiment. So I'm going to stamp in Early Espresso. Relax and enjoy. Oh, you could send this to somebody that's retiring, or if you just wanted to send a card to somebody that's going to the beach. There we go. And that's all our stamping. Now it's just a matter of putting all these pieces together. So I did go ahead and die cut everything ahead of time. So I have my bag, and I have my trim for my bag. So you get 3 pieces. It cuts with that one die, cuts out those 3 pieces. I have my handle, and then I die cut a little starfish. This is pecan pie, and a little shell out of petal pink. But I'm going to do my bag first. So when you die cut this, it puts score lines on here, which are a little bit interesting to find when it's a patterned paper like this, a designer series paper. But I'm just going to score, and I'll show you afterwards. I have some other cards that I made, one that I got in a swap, and then I made a little 3D bag. So I'll show that to you after I'm done. I like to put my trim on first, and I start with these little stripes going up and down. Now I could have cut these out with an adhesive sheet on the back. That probably would have been better, but I didn't. So we're just going to try and use a little bit of green glue, not too much. And then I like to fold this over because it's going to go right along that fold line, and that just makes it easier for me to see where to put that little strip. So we're not gluing anything down together. We're just using that fold line as the guide to put our little strip on. So let's do one on the other side. Ooh, I got a little much there. Okay, I don't want to drop it on anything. Again, fold that over. Fold this up so you can see. Put that right along the edge there. Whoops. And that's also why I like to use green glue. You've got a little bit of time to adjust it if you need to, but you do get green glue all over your fingers. Okay. So there are our little accents there. Then we're going to do the bottom. And this is just going to go right along this bottom here. And if you fold those in, then you can see where it goes. All right, then we will put a little bit of glue just on the bottom of our handles. All right, I'm going to set that aside for a minute while we finish putting stuff on the front of our card. Okay. So I will probably put that one on first. I just need to make sure that it's big enough that this one will cover it. And these are just going on flat with seal or liquid glue, whichever you prefer. Put that underneath of our sentiment. And this guy will get stacked on top of him. And you just want to leave about the same distance at the bottom as you did on the sides. All right, now we can put our bag on. And we don't need this little tab since we're not making a 3D one. So I'm just going to trim that off. It just gets in the way when I'm putting this on the card. We'll just trim that off. We don't need it. All right. So now you want to put a dimensional. I'm not putting anything inside, so I'm just going to put it there. And then we'll use green glue on all of these little tabs. So this is how we'll adhere it to our card. I just want to be sure that I don't cover up my sentiment. Just hold that for a second so that green glue can adhere. I still have it all over my fingers. All right. Then we'll put our little shell on. Plenty of glue for that. And our little starfish. And I'll just put glue in the middle of him too. All right. Then I decided my handles needed a little bling. So I got these. Let me take it out of the plastic. These are adhesive-backed metallic gems, and there's some copper ones. And I decided that would be the best. Now, last time I put them on this part of the handle, I think this time I'm going to put them down on that lower. I think that's really where they should have gone. So we'll put them down in here, because that makes more sense for it to attach to the bag there. And that's it. There is our beachy Notes and Totes card. Hey, Betty. Betty, I know you like this. Betty loves the beach. All right, let me show you the other cards in the 3D. So this is one I received, in a swap from Gail. She used Designer Series paper. I don't want to pull it off of there. These are sunglasses. Those are some dies that are in there. These are from something else. Isn't that cute? I made this one, just a real simple one. That was what I sent as thank you cards. I was trying to do a split fold with this. And really this is kind of big because when you fold it over, then you can see the back. It's not very pretty. So I was going to do this for class, but I didn't like it on that split fold. Here's that little paper I was talking about. So in class, we did this one. So it looks like a split fold, but it's not. It's just a normal card front. Whoops, and my little paper fell out. And you could write a little message in there. And if you don't want it to come out, you can glue it in. It's just kind of fun. And then I did make a little 3D tote with it. So you just stick two of them together. And that's where those little things kind of make the bottom there, those little tabs that we pulled off. And I put a water bottle in there. And just hung a scarf on it. And I put a couple of candy in there. And then you can also put a gift card. That's an old library card, but you could put a gift card in there. So that's fun. All right. Well, it's going to be a short one today. This was a quick card to make. All right. Let's talk about who won this card. So this is the card we made last week with the Sweet Joy. This is a new online exclusive that came out in July, I think, that goes with a sweet jar bundle or the punch. So this is called Jar of Joy. And the winner of this is Debbie. So I will get that sent to Debbie. All right. Yeah, this was definitely a short one today. And I will see you next week. And this is the one we made. I like the position of the gems on this better. I will see you next week and we'll make something else fun. All right. Thank you for joining me. Bye.